Of Civil War used to be the stuff of history class or maybe speculative fiction, but today scholars of history and political science now openly discuss the possibility of a new American Civil War. My next guest, Professor Barbara F. Walter, is an expert on civil wars around the world. She has spent years advising the CIA on the subject. In her work examining the seeds of civil war in distant lands, she started noticing some of those warning signs close to home right here in America, long before most others did. She's been sounding the alarm about the threat since at least 2008, and her message today is that we should not ignore those warning signs, but also that we can take steps to lessen the threat. Now, before she joins us, let's take a minute to dig into her findings. Walter's research looked at which countries were most likely to experience political instability and political violence in the coming years. Her work identified two key factors as highly predictive, and America checks both boxes. The first is anocracy, a term for a weakened democracy that contains elements of autocracy. The second is whether citizens have organized politically around identity as opposed to ideology. That means they make political choices based on factors like race, ethnicity, or religion. Walter's research found that both of these predictive indicators have been rapidly emerging in the United States in recent years. She writes that Donald Trump embraced identity politics explicitly and with gusto. To quote her, she says, "No Republican president in the past 50 years has ever pursued such an openly racist platform or championed white evangelical Americans at the expense of everyone else." That's a quote from Barbara Walter. For a long time, Walter found it difficult to get people to take her warning seriously until January 6, 2021. That is when Americans started paying closer attention. On that day, Trump told his supporters to fight like hell, and they would follow through with armed, sharpened flagpoles and stun guns. Most were white, most were men, Walters writes. January 6th was the grim outcome of one of the most divisive elections in U.S. history, and yet somehow it feels as though an even bigger powder keg has been building ever since. Crucially, Walter urges us to rethink our assumptions about civil war. Not just its possibility, but also what such a war might look like. This is disturbing stuff. She warns us that civil wars are not typically started by the groups most people expect, the poorest or the most marginalized. Instead, they are often ignited by groups that were once politically dominant but are now in decline. Today, the U.S. is undergoing major demographic shifts, transitioning from a majority white Christian nation to a majority non-white population that's expected to happen by 2045. This shift means that those who no longer hold a majority of the vote.
See how proud these fucking devils is? You see? They think they kingdom is gonna go on and on and on. What she say? 2045. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. This place will be blown the fuck up. You see? Way before that. What the fuck? You see? This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 4 and verse 29. You see? 2nd Ezra, chapter 4 and verse 29. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, you see, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away. See? Your devil daddy. These crackers, these hunkies, so-called white people. You see, they represent the evil. You see, the wicked. See? They bitch ass about to pass away. Yes, they rulership. They queen of heaven, queen of society. You see? So get prepared, yes, for civil wars, up wars, death and terror and destruction. You see? Because this devil going to bring out everything. He going to bring out everything he got, man, fighting for his birthright. You understand? You see? He going to bring out robot dogs that spit fire. that got guns that come out they back attached to them. Did you see that? Believe that? You see, yeah, he gonna bring out robot dogs that got guns attached to their back. Did you see that? You see, that's a bit fire that blow fire, man. All type of shit, man. His drones, Iron Mans. You see, Second Ezra chapter 4 and verse 29. You know what I mean? You dig? You see, Second Ezra chapter 4 and verse 29. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down. You see, this place is through, man. This place is collapsing, man. Get prepared for an economic catastrophe, great disasters. You see, you know what I mean? And if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, which is Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, this evil, filthy, nasty, disgusting, demonic ass place. You see, you know what I mean? Then cannot it come that is sown with good. You see, and this is what they're afraid of, man. They afraid of the kingdom of Yasharallah to be established. You see, the Heavenly Father ain't dealing with no crackers, man. He ain't dealing with no hunkies. He ain't dealing with so-called white people. You see, these motherfuckers afraid, man, because they can feel it, man, by the minute, by the second, by the day. They queendom, slipping away. I just read it to you. This filthy, nasty, demonic, evil, wicked, filthy, disgusting ass place. This place about to pass away. You see?
Could lose political power. According to Walter, a new American Civil War would likely be a war of insurgency fought by militias using guerrilla tactics, including terrorism. Those groups would avoid engaging directly with the military, instead targeting civilians, black churches, synagogues, federal judges they deem hostile. America, she warns, cannot afford to keep putting off this possibility. A subset of the country's population has long enjoyed privileges and power, and they're not going to let go without a fight. Some of them are not going to let go without a fight, she says. In her book, How Civil Wars Start and How to Stop Them, Walter writes, quote, "No one wants to believe that their beloved democracy is in decline or headed toward war. Decay is often so incremental that people often fail to notice or understand it, even as they are experiencing it. If you were an analyst in a foreign country looking at events in America the same way you'd look at events in Ukraine or the Ivory Coast or Venezuela, you would go down a checklist, assessing each of the conditions that make civil war likely. And what you would find is that the United States, a democracy founded more than 2 centuries ago, has entered very dangerous territory. The United States is an anocracy for the first time in more than 200 years. Let that sink in. We are no longer the world's oldest continuous democracy. The question for America moving forward is whether voters can be persuaded that their democracy works and is critical to their safety, and whether leaders will choose to reinstate its guardrails." That is a quote from Barbara Walter, who joins me now. Barbara F. Walter is a professor of international affairs at the University of California, San Diego. She's the author of the book, How Civil Wars Start and How to Stop Them. I want to talk to you about both those things, how they start, but really specifically how to stop them, because we don't want to see this happen in this country. Your book was published in 2022. How have you observed how things have changed in America since then? Are you still as worried as you were when you wrote those words that we quoted?
I'm still as worried, but for slightly different reasons. It's been a really interesting path.
Shit, you better be worried. You see? What the fuck? You motherfuckers about to suffer, man. Get prepared for great thrashing. You see? Hell yeah. You on your dig? Get prepared for great thrashing. Threshing. Yes. Threshing and thrashing up on the Edomites. You see, red dragon, demon, devils, you better be worried, you crackers, you hunkies. Your bitch ass about to get it. You see, Second Ezra chapter 4 and verse 30. It's the book of Second Ezra chapter 4 and verse 30. Second Ezra 4 and verse 30. For the gain of evil seed have been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. You see? Yeah, because his wicked ass woman was sucking and fucking the serpent, Mr. White Man. You see? That's why you bitches gonna suffer the worst. You proud ass, sadiddy, dingy, ditzy ass, wicked ass broomstick bitches. You see? Because of you bitches, you hoes. That's why Adam went off. His wicked ass wife, Eve, the nigga woman. You see? Second Ezra chapter 4 and verse 30. You know what I mean? It's the book of Second Ezra chapter 4 and verse 30. For the gain, Salakia. You see? Second Ezra chapter 4 and verse 30. For the grain of evil seed have been sown in the heart. Second Ezra chapter 4 and verse 30. Salakia, brothers. You see? That's the devil, man. Always trying to cause a fucking hindrance, man, when the word come out. You on your dig, you know what I mean? You see? Second Ezra chapter 4 and verse 30. For the grain of evil seed have been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. You see? And how much ungodliness have it brought up unto this time. See? Question mark. He talking about right now, 2025. That's why we pray. This is the year of our salvation, our deliverance, to get the fuck out of Babylon the Great. You see? We tired of being under the hands of the devil, Mr. Paleface, under these hunkies, man, these crackers, man, so-called white people. You see? You know what I mean? These motherfuckers are very ungodly, man. Unholy, demonic-ass demon devils. You understand? You see? Fucking up everybody, man. His philosophies, his fornications, GMOs, chemtrails, whatever, man. You see? This place is turned upside down, man. Got these bitches thinking they could be men. You see? Yeah, man. These sadiddy, dingy, proud ass, hesitant, procrastinating ass bitches, man. You see? We need deliverance, man. We need salvation. We need death and terror and destruction and judgment upon these hunkies, man. These crackers, man. These peckerwoods. You see? You know what I mean? And how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come? Didn't I say that, man? Getting your throat slit, getting fucked up. You vipers, you cobras, you pythons, you serpents. Did you see that shit? You see? Great threshing and thrashing. Fucking y'all ass up, man. That's what's coming, motherfucker. So hell yeah, get prepared for civil wars. You see? See? Great threshing. This is what the Heavenly Father told Ezra, what he witnessed and seen. Uproars, civil unrest, martial law. Did you see that? Did you catch that? Believe that? You see? See? Civil war. Great threshing upon the Edomites. Your devil daddy, your oppressor, your slave master. You see? And dick sucking ass, sellout ass, coon ass niggas. You bitches about to get fucked up because you bitches love the devil. Bitches love Satan. You see?
Since 2022, or actually 2020, when I wrote that quote about America no longer being the longest continuous democracy, when we entered the anocracy zone, that was after Trump's first term. That was at the end. It was right after the 2020 election, when for the first time in American history, a sitting president refused to accept the results of an election and was actively trying to overturn them. That put America in the anocracy zone. Then we had January 6th, and everybody was wondering, okay, what's going to happen? And to my great happiness, Trump did leave office. We had a relatively peaceful transition, and we had a new administration in the White House that actually believed in the rule of law, believed in democracy, and America's democracy score rose. So we got out of this anocracy zone. Today, we're back in it. And we're back in it, and we're likely to drop further than we were at the end of 2020. And that's because the second Trump administration is now actively going after many of the pillars of democracy. It's not respecting the rule of law in many cases, especially in terms of due process. These students who've been taken off of the streets and who've been detained and who have been sent to detention camps, they have all the legal rights of Americans, and yet the Trump administration is not honoring that. So there's a whole series of things that this administration is doing that is weakening America's democracy further, and we are declining. We are back in this anocracy zone.
You talk about the anocracy zone and the democracy score rising or falling. Could you just explain where that comes from? That this is just not your opinion, that there are a group of analysts and national security analysts here and elsewhere that actually look at democracies and they rate them.
Yeah, so I wrote this book because I'd served for 5 years on a task force run by the U.S. government. It's called the Political Instability Task Force, and it's been around since 1994. The goal of the task force was to help our government, the U.S. government, predict what countries around the world were likely to experience political instability and violence within the next 2 years. So the task force was comprised of two types of people. Half of them were experts on conflict and violence like myself. We were scholars and academics, and half were data analysts. And when the data analysts put together their predictive model, they asked the experts to give them every possible factor, every hunch we might have about factors that might lead a country on the path to civil war. And we gave them things like whether a country was poor, whether it had lots of immigrants, whether it was ethnically and religiously mixed, everything that we possibly thought could matter. And there were 38 factors. And as you mentioned earlier, when the analysts came back with their model, they said only 2 were highly predictive. And we, the experts, were very surprised. They were not the 2 factors we thought would be important. We thought it would be important if you had a population that was really angry at the government because it was really poor, or if you had groups that were heavily discriminated against. Those would be the people who would organize and rebel. And it turns out they're not. They're not. It turns out, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it turns out that America was, to your surprise, had these predictive indicators. And people listening to this might be thinking, this can't possibly happen here. But one of the things that you've seen in your studies time after time, when it does happen in other countries, that people weren't expecting it. So, yes, God forbid that something like this ever happens here. So what can we do to prevent something like this from happening? And you've noted that social media has accelerated the conditions in the United States. So what role does social media play, and what can be done to bring this sort of predictive possibility to tamp that down? Yeah. So we'll be looking at a brighter future.
Michelle, I used to think and this is still true, the simplest and easy way to tamp this down, to reduce the risk of political violence here in this country, would be to regulate social media. It's such an accelerant in terms of accelerating Americans' distrust of democracy, therefore leading to the demise of democracy. It sows division within our country. It promotes sort of hate and anger. It gets people feeling as if they're threatened all the time, which makes them distrustful of each other. I no longer think that's the path forward. And that's because the 5 biggest tech companies in the world, all of which are in the United States, have resisted any sort of regulation in any way. They're not even willing to enforce their own content rules. So we're not going to get reform on social media anytime soon.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman, Global.
It ain't looking too good, you see. It ain't looking too good for Mr. Paleface, Esau, Edom, the devil the Bible speaks of. You see, you fucking heathen devils, your ass about to go into hardcore bondage slavery. Get ready for the red Hebrew Edomite heathen slave trade boat. You see? You red dragon demon devils, man. You heathen devils. You brute beasts. Great threshing is coming. Bitch, didn't I read it? You see? 2nd Ezra chapter 4 and verse 30. You on your dig? You know what I mean? You see? Yeah. That apply to you bitches. You proud ass, filthy, nasty, disgusting, pants wearing ass nigga women bitches. You see? You funky stinking pussy, funk box, bloody funky stinking pussy ass nigga women bitches that don't take baths. Bitch, your ass gonna get thrashed out. You see, your bitch ass gonna get thrashed out without a doubt. You proud ass bitches ducking and running. You see, ducking and running and hiding up under the bed and shit, man. Your bitch ass gonna get put to death. Your ass gonna get thrashed out. Believe that. You see, these vipers, these cobras, these pythons, these serpents, man. You motherfuckers got to go, man. You see? What that lady, what them two ladies, what them two women was talking about, that shit is gonna happen. It's gonna come to pass, a civil war. You see, it ain't gonna be no 911, motherfucker, cause the light's gonna be out, without a doubt. You see?
Bro, the job market's cooked, nigga, the economy's cooked, everything fried, bro. I'm post-grad, right? I graduated at 24, right? I know what day it is now. It's damn near a year of me trying to find a job. I thought that I was safe because I fly planes, right? I don't fly the airline. Anyway, I fly planes. Nigga, nobody's hiring. Everybody's posting jobs, nobody's hiring. Don't make sense. Bro, I went to this one spot, right? I'm so flexible, I will work and fly planes in any state, any place. I went to Hawaii, right? To Hawaii to apply to a job. She says, you know what? I decided, white woman, by the way, white woman. She said, I decided I only want to hire locals. This bitch is from Nebraska. The fine young lady is from Nebraska. What do we mean local? You're not local. What are we talking about? Local? So I lied. Actually, I live here. I don't. But anything to get a job, please can hire me. I said, I live here. She said, mind you, I'm in California at the time. She's like, okay, well, can you fly here tomorrow? I got the bag. Yes. First flight. Red eye. I said, yes. She said, oh, well, I wasn't expecting that. Exactly. You wasn't expecting that. Nigga, expect the unexpected. So
See, that's what's wrong with you niggas, man. You niggas trust in the devil, Mr. Paleface. You see? See, we locked in, man, mentally and psychologically and spiritually. The men of the faith. You see, we locked in, man, because we know this place can collapse in any given day. Yo, devil daddy, Mr. Paleface, he hates you Jakes. Don't you get it? You see? Stupid ass niggas, man. Dick sucking ass niggas. You believe in the devil. You bitch ass niggas got a so-called black woman spirit. You see? Bitch made ass niggas, man. You got a so-called black woman spirit. Just like the nigga woman. You see, you niggas gonna learn at a moment's notice. You gonna visualize and recognize and look alive. You see, your oppressor, your devil daddy, he don't love you niggas. You on your dig? You know what I mean? You see? Let's get a scripture, man. And close out. You see? Madness, man. The sickness, man. Did you catch that? Believe that. You see? This is the book of the book of Colossians, the New Testament. You see, Colossians chapter 2 and verse 3. You see, Colossians 2 and verse 3. In whom are hid all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. You see, second, the book Colossians chapter 2 and verse 3. You see, Colossians 2 and verse 3. In whom are hid all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. You see, I like to say, call Elohim La, Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai. All praise Mashiach Yahushai. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai. Kwam Yasharala, Prince of Power, yeah, Jerusalem, we up. Yeah, Jerusalem, we up. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai. All praise Mashiach Yahushai. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai. Call Hello, call Elohim La, Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai. All praise Mashiach Yahushai. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai. Shouts out Israelite foreigners, specular birds, you strangers that look like a Mr. Paleface, that look like an Edomite, that look like a red Hebrew Edomite. Peace and love to you, peace and love to you, Israelite foreigners, specular birds. You strangers that look like a Mr. Paleface, that look like an Edomite, that look like a red Hebrew Edomite. Peace and love to you, peace and love to you. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai. All praise Mashiach Yahushai. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai. Shalom, shalom, shalom to the 144,000, the elect, the women and men, children that's going to make it to the kingdom. Double honors, apostles and elders and watchmen, servants and prophets, a great millstone who I learned the truth from only through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. All praise Mashiach Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, you brothers and sisters, was edified. You see? See, you Jakes ain't got no wisdom and knowledge, understanding, man. You believe in Esau, Edom, science, his pseudo science, his wisdom. You see, his counsel, his knowledge. It ain't gonna benefit you. You stupid motherfucker. You see, trusting in the devil, trusting in the serpent, Mr. White Man. We know this place about to collapse. You understand? You see?
She was like, okay, you start making up shit, right? Start making up stuff. Oh, well, actually, we only have a part-time position. Hire me, fuck it, I'll work. I work for free, fuck it. So she told me, so we only got a part-time position. I said, okay, cool, bet, I'll pull up. Why not? She said, well, actually, it's always a well, actually. So then she put me onto this other spot. The other guy was hiring. I called him up, hey, man, I'm a pilot. I got this, all the requirements he need. I got them. I said, I got this requirement, right? He said, oh, cool, great. He said, can you come tomorrow? Yes. He said, do you live on an island? No, but I'm moving. Right? These are all the answers I'm giving him. But I can, though. He's like, okay, man, where are you from? I said, California. He said, oh, you're from California? You're not from the island? Yeah, he got me there. I said, no, but I'm moving there in a week. He said, oh, okay. He said, do you have this? I said, yes, I got this. He said, do you have this? I said, yes, I got this. He said, do you have this? I said, yes, I got this. Nigga. I hang up the phone. He said, okay, perfect. He said, matter of fact, fly here on this date for this time, blah, blah. I'm going to buy the ticket. I email him, right? We hang up and email him. Hey, man, this is the ticket date I'm coming. Are we confirmed for the interview? Ghosted me. So then I called back. I'm like, hey, man, I haven't bought my ticket yet because you haven't confirmed the thing. He said, oh, I thought you already bought the ticket. If you can't make it here tomorrow, I got other people coming for the job. I bought the ticket immediately. I called back, hey, I bought the ticket. Oh, you're coming tomorrow? I thought you wasn't going to come. Anybody that needs pilots or hiring pilots, please hit my line. Please.